We don't control when God decides to wake us up. I use the word God because it's what I was raised with. I'm not attached to it when people say source, spirit, Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ, earth, nature, the one. Whatever resonates with you, that's the term you use. But at the same time, nobody chooses that time, that higher energy touches your soul. Mine came June 8th, 2015. It's not a story I've shared with too many people because when I did at first, it was taken and it was used against me. I was a police lieutenant going through a rough time, divorce, witnessing things in the police department I worked in that just were not right. I threw myself a pity party when I got home, but from the PTSD retreat. Speaking of an awakening, it can always be taken out of context and used against you, which it was. I was made to seem crazy. And to be honest with you, maybe I did go a little crazy for a long time because the reality is the experience I had was just out of this world, mystical, something that you can't comprehend with your human brain. And I think you resist it until you have more and more experiences like it throughout your life experience that help to concrete the reality that is. So June 8th, 2015, I was at a PTSD retreat in Boston, Massachusetts. I'm from Northern California. I'm on my last day at this retreat. It's first responders, military people, medics, EMTs, hospice care people, and anyway, I've completed my time here. It's where I learned to meditate. Meditation to me was a foreign term, and I was very resistant to it. When they were teaching it there, I'm like, what the heck am I doing here? It just felt so out of place and out of this world. On my last day there, I'd made friends with one of the other cops that was in the retreat. He was from Boston. He asked me if I ever tried Reiki. I'm like, Reiki? Come on, what the hell is that? I'm a cop. I'm a SWAT team commander. My ego is just through the roof, and you're talking to me about spirituality and energy healing and what? I was resistant to religion. I had seen the chaos that religion and anything associated with it to me was all one and the same, and I'd seen it, the hurt it had caused my own family. I've seen the hurt it's caused thousands of humans, being a part of those systems. And so when I was asked to if I wanted to do it, I was like, hell no. I got an hour before I need to be at the Boston airport. There's no way that you're gonna get me in there. Well, he continued to pressure me, and so I gave in. I looked at the lady, and she's about 4'0". She's wearing a nun's outfit, which today I'm like, hang on, energy healer and Catholic. I'm not drawing the relation, but I looked at her and I said, hey, can you do it in 30 minutes? She said, yeah, no problem. And so I went into this room. It was a sunroom, and this lady knew nothing about me. She had no idea that I was a cop. She didn't know me from Adam. This is the first interaction we've ever had together. And she starts putting her hands around my body. She never touches my body, and as she does this, she asks me if I have pain anywhere. And I was in so much stress that I was clenching really bad and my jaw hurt. And she put her hands over my head, and as she did that, the pain literally started to go away. I mean, it was so quick. My jaw was like quivering, like, holy crap, what just happened here? And so she moves around my body, and then she says, the spirit of Saint Michael is strong within you. And I'm like, wow, like, okay, that's, you know, the police officer, patron saint of police is Saint Michael, Archangel Saint Michael. And so she had drawn that connection without even knowing me. And at that time, she says, he wants me to tell you that there's millions behind you, millions ready to go to battle, millions ready to go to war with you. I didn't understand that message then, you know, from a human standpoint, from a physical standpoint, we look at things in the nature of time, and we want things to happen now. And I'll kind of fill you in after the fact of what I took from that, and, you know, my physical translation of it. But in the moment, basically, I'm being told that many people are waking up all around the world, and there's going to be a time that we have to fight a spiritual war. 2015, I had no understanding of that. She moves to my right arm, and she says that God's telling her to pick up my right hand and telling me I'm forgiven for it. And I really didn't understand that at the time either. You know, my physical translation of that was I had shot and killed somebody in 2012, you know, in pretty much an active shooter scenario where the guy had taken out 2 human beings, murdered them, and tried to kill others, shot another lady in the neck, and, you know, tried to kill another human being. And so I'm thinking he's forgiven me for my trigger hand. It didn't make sense to me until today that he was forgiving me for my dominance, my overly possessive masculine energy, that has caused relationships time and time again throughout my life to break down, because I'm such a dominant type A personality, and that's what's controlling our world today, and that's why our world's in chaos. You know, there's no balance to it. And, you know, when we speak of masculine and we speak of feminine, we're not talking about sex, genders, or anything like that. We're talking about energies. In order for us to maintain positive relationships, we have to have a balance in those energies. In order for us not to contribute to the negative energies of the world, we have to have a balance of those energies. And us men have just been so dominant in nature, and it's actually preached in the systems. You know, I sat and listened to a wedding about 2 years ago where the minister was marrying 2 Christian people, and all he said to the woman was, obey, obey, obey. And you're just going, hey, man, there's an energy that's smacking me upside my head that says this is not right. We're not put here to obey anyone but a higher being, a higher energy. Anyway, back to the Reiki session. Again, it's 30 minutes long. And as she's moving around my body and she's healing parts of my body, I'm literally not in my body anymore. And this doesn't make sense to me, because I am the most skeptical, suspicious, you name it, most ego-driven human being on the planet. You know, you could not tell me this could happen to me and me believe it at the time. I'm literally interacting with the birds that are chirping in the sun. The light that's beating down on me is just not a natural light, and I can't understand it. In the time, I wasn't even trying to understand. I was just enjoying it. As I got up as she finished up and I got up from the table, I was just in a world of bliss. I was so light, I could not understand how I had no feeling in my body. I had no angst, I had no hate, I had no anger. I was like I was floating on clouds. It was insane. Like, I'm going through basically a divorce. I'm away from my kids. I'm at a PTSD retreat. My world is falling apart around me as relates to my career, my security, my retirement, my money. It's all falling apart. And here I am. I have no feeling in my body except for bliss. I get up from the table. I walk out of the room. And the buddy that asked me to do the Reiki session literally slaps my hand, and there's a coin. There's a coin in my hand. It's two-sided. One side is the Serenity Prayer, which I won't go into because I can't recite it word for word today. The other side is a coin, or the picture of Saint Michael on a coin, and it's basically a brotherhood coin. It's a police coin. And I just look at him. I say, man, you don't even know what just happened in there. You don't even know what just happened in there. Let me back you up to the actual session. While she was telling me that Saint Michael was supporting me, and I had 1 million people behind me, and that they were ready to do battle, we were ready to go to war, the image of a hawk appeared in my mind. And that hawk opened up its wings, and that hawk was Saint Michael. Prior to even going to the retreat, I was having weird experiences with with hawks, where they were coming in all shapes and sizes in places they should not be. Heads bowed, very close to me in dreams, just, things that I just couldn't understand. And in that moment, I understood that the hawk was Saint Michael and was a guardian angel. I'm not going to sit here with an ego and say he's my guardian angel. I'll say that he's probably many of our guardian angels, especially if we've ever worn a badge. He's urging you to wake up. Moving on to getting the coin, and then getting in the cab and going to the Boston International Airport. And anybody knows the Boston International Airport knows that it's one of the largest airports in the world, and it's just crowded, and it's just nasty. It's just a nasty place to go. Anybody with social anxiety, which I had, and again, I was going through a divorce, my world was falling apart. I had nothing. I had no fear. I was literally walking on clouds. I literally walked around that airport in a state of bliss with the biggest smile on my face. It was unexplainable. And I sat there. It was a couple hours away. No big deal. I'm an impatient human being, so a couple hours wait is a huge deal, and it used to be a huge deal in my world, and it just wasn't a big deal. I get on the plane and I fly into Chicago airport, get to my next place to check in for my flight. I sit down, and there's a stewardess, and she's sitting pretty good ways away from me. And she's got this box in her hand, and I can see on the box a picture of Saint Michael. And I'm like shaking my head, and I'm just going, how can this be? Well, what is going on? I'm still in a state of bliss, but I'm coming back to a normal sense of reality. And something comes over me, and I just said, I gotta walk over and talk to this gal. I gotta tell her what just happened, and the fact that she's holding this box is just insane. So I walk over to her, and again, she's a good-looking lady, and I have to open the conversation with, "Hey, I'm not trying to pick up on you. That is not my goal here. But I gotta tell you, I just had an experience at a PTSD retreat, and it had to do with Saint Michael, and here you are holding a box with Saint Michael on it." I shared the experience with her, and she asked me if she could do a reading for me. Now, guys, this is the first time I've ever had any experience with any kind of tarot cards. It was a tarot card box, and I had no clue what they were. It just, this is stuff that's just way out of my world. It's not something that I would allow into my reality at the time. But at the time, with what I had been through and what I was feeling, I said, yeah, sure, why not, So I sit down, and she's got her, I think it's a 56 to 60 card deck, and she's shuffling through them. They're oracle cards, and she's shuffling through them, and she spreads them out on the floor or on the seat or wherever the heck we are. It might even been at a side table, and she asked me to pick a card, and I pick a card, and wouldn't you know it, it's St. Michael. The message was let go. That was the message, let go. We all interpret these things from a physical reality, and let go of what? Let go of my family? You're freaking crazy. Let go of my wife at the time? You're freaking crazy, right? We can't see past the moment that we're in. We don't understand our experiences set us up for new and better experiences. Not saying that the loss of, my family is, was a good thing, but it was a lesson in my life that projected me to where I am today and this understanding that I have today. I didn't understand that. The message was let go, and the message wasn't let go of anything physical other than, an attachment to material items, which, man, that's rampant. And I'm learning that lesson today as I'm letting go of my material life. But the message was to let go of the old reality, the old friends, the people that are going to stay stuck in those realities, and transition into the new reality that this higher energy is trying to move me into. Now, I didn't get that message at that time, and it took me an awful long time of egotistical battles to finally let go and move into this new present feeling. But I had to learn a lot of hard lessons along the way, and I threw myself so many pity parties along the way, and I got so many subtle messages that I overlooked, and I would embrace them, and then I would bounce back because I didn't have confidence in what was leading me to where I was going. And I'd embrace them, and then I'd go back, and then I would embrace them, and I would go back, and I did this time and time and time again. Today I understand that process. Our brains have a hard time moving from one reality to the next. Even if we know that the new reality is going to serve us better than the old reality, we still stay stuck in that old reality, bouncing back and forth between the new and the old. It's not until we embrace the reality, because they're subtle, we're all getting subtle movement. We're all getting those subtle messages to move in a direction. We're all getting it. The problem is that we all fight it. We don't embrace it. And some of us embrace it and go freaking cuckoo, and we try to explain everything that we've received through this mystical reception, and all it does is just make people look at us as though we're nuts, right? Because we have a hard time explaining what is happening to us. This explanation still is going to challenge people's minds, and I understand that. I do. I understand that. They're not. This is just one story of, the activation, and I'm sure that there were other subtle, hints for me to move prior to the catastrophe that I had to go through. And the reason I had to go through the catastrophe was because I didn't take the subtle hints to move and to stay moving in that direction of positive energy, positive light. These are not easy lessons to learn. We all need each other. We all need each other We all have to have the courage to reach out to people that have experienced what others have already gone through, so that we can help these people move to a better place in life and a better light. Suicides are through the roof. Why are suicides through the roof? Because our realities have changed so much in this new world we're living in. A lighter energy is trying to move us away from those darker energies, and the conflicting realities is causing us to put guns in our mouth, put pills in our mouth, slice our wrists, put a noose around our neck, take our own life. It's not the answer. It's not the answer. Your battle's not going to be easy, and it doesn't matter if you reach out to someone else. It's still not going to be easy, but at least it's going to be accelerated. You don't have to do it alone. There are some things you do have to do alone to build this connection and to maintain this connection. I have a lot of friends, family, that they've woken up to the physical realities of what's going on. And I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to see the physical realities of what's going on. However, they stay stuck in the hopes that something physical or someone physical is going to come and take them back to the normalcy that they knew. Look around you. Look on social media. Look at all the people trying to go back to their sense of normalcy. They can do it, and they're going to do it for a temporary period of time, and then the reality is going to change on them again and again and again and again and again. We're under attack. Death by 1,000 cuts. The normal that you once knew is not there anymore. If you choose to stay trapped in that normalcy, when the real shock and awe hits, you will not make it through. You'll die by your own hands. Something we all need to consider is that we have to accept the reality in front of us. And we have to take every day, moment by moment, breathe into our gut and live in love, knowing that from that place of love, no matter what happens, no matter if your life ends in that second, that place of love is taking you to a better place. You die in fear, you die in anger, you die with temptation, you die with lust, you die with any negative energy in your body. Where are you going? Some say to hell. That's the system belief. Some say reincarnation, back to the same place to learn this lesson all over again. I don't have the answer. None of us do. But boy, we preach it, and we judge those who do not believe our beliefs. Where are you going to go? I'll bet that one of your lessons here on earth is to release your judgment of others, no matter what system you're a part of, no matter what your belief system is. I'll bet that's one of your purposes here on earth, one of your lessons you're supposed to learn. Where are you going to go? Not for me to judge. It's not my judgment. I don't know. But I can say that that's a dark energy. If we die with dark energy, it's just like dying with hate in our heart. You be the judge. I share this only so that others find the courage within themselves to release the negative energy in their bodies and their hearts, and listen to those subtle clues that are moving you toward a better place and a better feeling and a more peaceful body, a more peaceful mind. I say this to the people that do nothing but research all day. looking for all the clues, looking to stuff their brains with information and not knowing what to do with it. It's hell. I've been there. I watched others go there. If you can't stop yourself, you're just going to live in that hell. It's okay to consume facts. It's okay to consume knowledge. Too much of it leaves you stuck, especially if you haven't found an avenue to release it. Take care, all.